All right, I think we're ready to get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sage Business Cloud Payroll Year-End webinar for Canada. I'm Mohammed, and I'll be your host for today. And I'm also joined by Quinn as a panelist. She will be assisting with any Q&A throughout the session. We are your expert supporting you for Sage HR and Sage Payroll. So you are in good hands today. And we want to thank you for joining us today. This webinar is designed to help you confidently complete your year-end for payroll, stay compliant with the CRA requirements, and obviously prepare for a smooth transition into the next year. Okay. So before we begin, just a few housekeeping notes here. All the microphones are muted during the session, just to keep us on track time-wise. Please post again all your questions in the Q&A section. We will address them during and at the end of the session. The session is recorded. So for those who registered today, you will be able, for those who did not register and now able to join the live session, don't worry, we will provide you the recording available via multiple channels and insert the Sage Community Hub. So at the end of the session, we will provide the link in the Community Hub so you can watch the recording if you're not able to join and attend today. And just as an FYI, for any tax-specific questions regarding if the taxability of an income or if a deduction should be taxed, please contact your certified payroll or accountant or tax consultant or even the CRA Business Inquiry Line. Here at Sage, the support team, we cannot provide any tax advice. But we can do, once you have that guidance from your consultant, we can help you set up the system based on that advice. So if they tell you to tax a certain income, make a certain deduction, we can definitely help you with that and how to set it up in the system. Okay. So this is our agenda for today. We will cover the purpose of the year end, why we're doing it at all, some key requirements and deadlines from the CRA to make sure we don't miss any deadlines, how to best reconcile your payroll information for accuracy, how to prepare your employees' tax slips and summary in Cloud Payroll. This will be fun part, obviously, because we will actually dive into the account, test account, and take a closer look on how to do all this. And we will also provide you at the end some best practices for a successful payroll year end. And finally, we will also provide you with some tools and helpful online resources. Okay, so let's get started. So in Sage Cloud Payroll, there are about three key actions we recommend doing for your year-end payroll. The first one is to reconcile your company payroll information. So basically just review your company details and also your employee details information to ensure that everything is accurate, that you didn't miss any information or some things that were not required when you first set up the account. Well, now they will be required before you can generate any tax documentation. So we will go over what needs to be reviewed both for your company and your employee details. Next, we will also show you how to prepare those tax slips and summaries and provide them to your employees through different manners. So there's ways you can, print it and mail it to them. You can also email it to them. The one that I recommend is keep everything digital. So you can also send it to them directly into their Sage HR profile, because you have payroll, but it comes with your HR as well. So you can send those tax documents just like you send the pay slips. They can also send the tax documents into Sage HR directly. And finally, we will also show you how to, after you fill in the slips and return to the CRA. This matters because it allows you to stay legal and compliant with the CRA. It keeps accurate tax filing for your employees, and it also helps you to avoid paying any penalties or any audits, and also ensures you have a smooth transition into the following year. So we will demonstrate all these in a few moments. Right now, we have to still do the boring sections. but we will get to the fun part in just a few slides here. So this is also some of the requirements from the CRA. Basically, the due date for filing information, summaries, and tax slip is the last day of February. That follows the calendar year. So right now, we're in 2025. You have until February of 2026 on the 28th to take care of all this. So recommend, marking your calendars to make sure you meet those deadlines. This will help you avoid any penalties, obviously. Okay. So this is what we meant by reconciling your payroll information. The first section is what I was mentioning, how you can ensure that all your payroll information for your company is filled in. This is crucial in Sage Payroll. So such information such as your company business number, social insurance number, and basically any field that's marked as needed for submission, as you can see there on the screenshot, is required. It was not required at first when you're processing payroll, so we did not, required to be submitted. But when the time comes to take care of these tax documentation, any field that's marked as needed for submission needs to be provided for you to process those, okay? So when you hire your employee, you get their social information uh, through maybe a TD form or some other methods. Those information will need to be entered eventually in Sage Payroll at that time. Okay. So this is optional. This is now new tools that we have available in the system to allow you to make any correction or adjustments. You can make these correction deductions at each payroll period at any given time. We recommend, obviously, use the final pay run of the year to make any final adjustments, because once you process the last one, now you're looking at the following year. So any adjustments needed needs to be performed within the current fiscal year, if that makes sense. So the good news is, Sage Payroll now have two options where you can ask it to do an auto calculation and adjust any year-to-date values. And the system will basically try its best to look at overall everything you've done throughout the year. And if there is any any EI or CPP calculations that the system feels is kind of inaccurate, it will try to adjust these on that last pay run for you. And the second option is to do a manual adjustment. So ticking this box, we're basically allowing you to adjust those amounts yourself, and you can simply scroll to each field, whether it's the CPP, the federal, or the taxes, the provincial taxes, and adjust the amounts yourself. For example, sorry, if you forgot to put a taxable benefit such as EI or CPP throughout the year, you can use this option on the final pay run to have the system account for those in that last pay run for yourself, for the employee. So next, once everything is good and you finalize the last pay run of the year, you can prepare your tax form, review it, and if something is off, you can always revert that last pay run, as long as you did not record the payment. So keep that in mind. I don't recommend recording any payments after you finalize the pay run. Take a look at the tax documents, take a look at the pay slips, take a look at everything. And if there's any adjustments necessary, you can always revert that pay run, make any adjustments, and then refinalize it to take a look. And once you're satisfied with everything, including the tax documents, you can then move forward and provide those tax documents to the employees and the CRA. As I was saying, you can either print them or send them the PDF via email, or better yet, just send it over to the employee's HR profile directly, and that way everything stays digital. So for that last option, obviously the employee must activate their HR profile so they can log in and access the platform. So if you haven't done it yet, there's an option where you can just simply send them the welcome invitation from HR. Okay, we don't do this in payroll. You can just log out to Sage HR, and then there's an option there where you can invite the employees to activate their HR profile for access. Okay. All right, so now we're ready for the fun part. We're actually gonna jump into a system and let's walk you through a live demonstration, and this will give you a hands-on look at how easy it is really to close your end. It's not that complicated. So I'm looking at my system here. We're starting with the dashboard section, and right away you see I have a warning that tells me that my company tax setup is incomplete. So this is the first reconciliation that I was mentioning. We're going to review that information. I also get a few warnings here that there are 3 employees for whom we're missing submission information. So we will take care of those. But I have a total of 5 employees, and then we'll take a look at those as well. So next thing we're going to do, first thing I want to do is we can do either or. We can start with the employees, or we can start with our company details. So I'm choosing to start with my company first. So we're going to go to the settings section. And you see that other warning right away. For the company settings section, we have tax setup, it says it's incomplete. So let's review what's missing over there. So looking at the statutory information, first field is our company name. Right away, what I was saying earlier, any field that's marked as needed for submission needs to be provided. So the trading name is typically the same name as your company name. Sometimes it is not. And so we can just provide the same information here, or whatever you feel should be provided there, just go ahead and put it in. But it wasn't required at first, so we were able to process payrolls until now, no problem. But now that we need to submit documentation, any fields, again, that's marked as needed for submission, we have to provide. So we're also missing our CRA payroll number. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. So if you scroll down, we can see that other information as it was provided already. Anything that's marked as needed for submission is provided. So I'm good to move on to the next slide. We're going to save and ask to go to the next page, just so we can review if there's anything else that's missing. So that was provided. We're good here. This is not required, so we're good. We're going to move on to the address. This is also provided, so we should be okay. Looking at the last slide here, awesome. So if we save and close, I think we no longer have, there you go. So now it's saying it's complete, and we're all set for that particular reconciliation. So far, so good. Pretty easy, right? Next, we're going to look at the employees. So I'm going to move over from settings, and we're going to go back to the employees tab. And so I'm going to ignore this one because really this is my own record as an administrator. I'm not part of payroll, so I'm going to keep the warning and ignore it. I'm not going to be generating any documentation or submission for myself. I'm just there for my own access. Really, the ones that I need to focus on are these 2 employees, and they're separated from, as you can see, I have 2 others here who are showing active and no problem. But so Chantal and Ronnie, I do have the warning that we're missing submission information. So we're going to edit this employee first. And again, we want to just take a quick look and see if we can find any field that says it's needed for submission. So this was actually good. So we're going to go over to the personal tab. I think that's where the issue lies. And exactly, yep, we're missing the social security number. So we're just going to put a fake number in there. If you keep going, these are not required for submission. I'm going to go next. Okay, I think everything is good. We're going to jump to the tax details. So everything is good. And the address. There we go. So we're missing the address information here. So I'm just going to put a random address here, 123 Street. The city, we're going to say it's in Montreal. This employee is in Quebec, so we will be generating RL-1s for them instead of T4s. All right. So if I save and close, I think I got everything. Yep, you can see no more warning for Chantal. I'm only missing for Ronnie. So we're going to quickly do the same for Ronnie here. And so scroll down. Everything is good here. Personal. Everything is already here. I think it's the address that's missing for this one. Okay, yeah. So we're going to put this one in, I believe this Ontario. And we put a fake zip code. Save and close. Wonderful. So we don't have any more warnings. The only one again is for my own record, and that's totally fine. We're not going to be worrying about my own record because I'm only here as an administrator. Okay. So we've just completed the reconciliation for my company as well as for the employees. We can proceed to the next step. So we're going to go over to the Parents tab. I want to show you what I currently have in the system. So we go to the Parents tab. This is my very next pay run. And looking at the dates, I can tell this will be the last pay run for the current 2025 year. If I look at all of the pay runs I've done some since August, and they're all finalized. Okay. So the next one, which is the last one, is this very one that we're gonna process now and generate before we generate obviously the tax documents, because I want this pay run to be included in the current year as well. Okay. So we're gonna do process pay run. As you can see the date there, it's gonna be for the date of the 5th to the 18th. We're gonna leave the pay date to the 18th. And so what I was saying is, if we need to make any adjustments for any users, this is our chance to do it. So if I take a look at John, for example, so the hours are here. I don't use any other income revenue. If you scroll down, the system has calculated, the taxes for me based on the current pay run. Same for CPP, NEI, etc. And so, and again, if we needed to see what the year-to-date values are for this employee before we do this pay run, we could always run the year-to-date report to look at the current year-to-date values. But what I was saying was we have now this feature where you can ask the system to do a recalculation and adjust this employee's taxes for this final pay run. By selecting this, it reduces any chance of receiving any peer report from Canada, the agency report, okay? So this will reduce the chance of basically having any miscalculations. It's not quite perfect, but it will reduce the chance. So you can always take it and scroll down and see if you're satisfied with the recalculation that it did. And we can take a quick example. For example, if I take a look at my Alberta, now let's take a look at the CPP, for example. It says it's going to calculate, put the amount to 664. If I remove the auto calculation, so now it's going to calculate normally, and the CPP is now showing a full 134. So keep that in mind. This will definitely modify the amounts. And what that means is the system feels like you're overcalculating in this last pay run for this employee. So the auto calculation is saying technically you can just reduce that amount to 6 instead of the 134. And again, if you're not satisfied with that, you can just don't use the auto calculation. You can maybe use your online calculator with the CRA website, calculate what the amount should be. And you can also choose a second option, which is, okay, Sage, don't auto-calculate anything for me. Let me go down and change myself and decide what exactly I want to include on that final pay run for this employee. So you have both options to allow you to do those adjustments here. Okay. In our example, we're going to assume that everything is fine. I don't need to touch anything. So I'm going to save and close. We're going to finalize this pay run. Everything is good. So we review and complete. We confirm the date is on the 18th. Complete the pay run. Okay. So at this point, we are still able, if we were, if we feel like we made a mistake, if we, for example, run our reports, like a year-to-date report, and take a look at the year-to-date amount for this year, say, for example, I run it for everybody. Okay, and you can see I have the year-to-date for August, September, all the way to December, and this will be my year-to-date total for the year. So if you look at all these amounts and for any reason you feel like, well, something is missing or I forgot to include a benefit or or the vacation paid out, for example, you can still revert this pay run that we just finalized. So if I go back to pay runs, and there you go. You see, I'm getting the warning that saying the only reason why I'm getting this warning is because I've just finalized my last pay run for 2025. And so the system is saying that basically we're still waiting um, for the CRA to reveal what the next year tax tables are so we can provide them into the system. So right now, if I was to process any pay run in 2026, the system will still use the current tax tables for 2025. So after, if you generate this and afterwards the tax tables are released, we're saying that you must recalculate any completed pay runs in in a new tax year that you've used all rates and make any adjustment in 2026 using the new tables. And you can use the same method that I just showed you on how to edit those calculations. So I'm going to continue on that, and then right away you see I get the message again that tax table is not yet released for 2026, so keep that in mind. But this confirms also to me that this is obviously the pay run for the following year. So I really have completed all my tax years for 2025. I can look at all my pay runs and go back to 2025, and this is the one we just finalized. So if needed, see the option to revert it. If I felt like I made a mistake or I forgot something, you can always revert. The one thing that we can't go back from is if you go over to the payments tab and actually record the payment. So basically you're telling the system, I've actually paid the employees, whether it's through direct deposit or check or cash. If you come in here and tick these boxes for these employees and actually record the payment, that's when you can come back from. So don't record the payment in the system until you're absolutely sure that you've actually paid the employees, and obviously you can't go back from that either. So at that point you can then come in and record the payments. But as long as you don't record the payments and you want to make an adjustment, you can always come back, switch back over to 2025 and revert that last pay run, and then redo it and with any adjustments necessary. Okay. So now that I'm happy with this, I can switch to the submission tab. So this is where we would come in to generate the T4s and obviously also the RL-1s for any Quebec employees. So we're going to go over to the T4 section. I'm going to simply do new T4 tax form. We're going to do the option to generate and file for T4s. So the system will not file it for you, but it's going to generate you the XML file that you need to then go in and upload it to the CRA website. Okay. So I'm going to do next. Yes, we want to do it for the 2025. It automatically already moved all my employees that for whom I can generate a T4. Okay, I'm going to do next. So I get a warning that I'm missing something here, and it's not information that really was missing. Actually, it is. It wants to know if I'm the one handling the tax submissions for the company or I'm a representative of the company. I'm going to say I am the one handling it. System is asking for your transmitter number, so I think I can just put in the RN. I think it's the format. Yep, that's fine. And then if you scroll down, there is no other information. This is required. It's already put in for me, so I can just click on generate. So after you give it a few seconds, if the status doesn't refresh, we can simply refresh the browser. Oh, actually it did. And you see it only took a few seconds because I've only had like 4 employees, so it doesn't take as long. So we can click on it to look at what we have here. We have a submission ID, we have the tax year confirming here, the date it was generated, how many employees are included in it. This is the link to download the XML file that you can then submit to the CRA website. This link will just take you to the CRA portal where you can actually file the XML document. So this is the one that you use to send those tax documents into the employee's HR profile. It says it's not been sent, which is right. We haven't yet clicked on it. This is to view those 54 slips. So we're going to take a look at it. Open up new tabs on my browser. Downloads the PDF from my computer. So I'm going to put it on my desktop and take a look. And then open it up in here. Continue. Give me a second. And there is what it looks like. Okay. So the total of employee revenue is here in this box. So every box will contain the information as it should from the year-to-date information that you've entered for all the employees. And again, if something needs to be adjusted, it shouldn't be adjusted on the T4. We're looking at adjusting it on the pay run itself. And that's why I was saying this is still your chance to generate these, take a look at it. And if any adjustments are needed, you can always close this. I can, first of all, you can delete this T form if it's wrong. And then you can still go back to your pay runs, remember, and then ask to see all the pay runs, change the year to go back to 2025, and revert that pay run. I haven't recorded the payment, so I can always revert it and make my adjustments, refinalize it, regenerate the T4s, and it will include whatever adjustments you made on the T4 in here. So that's the process if you need to make any adjustments. Even after you generated the T4s, I mean, at that point, you can still make any adjustments. Okay. But if not, I can go over back to the submission page, take a look at the T4s, click on it again, send it over to the employees. So we get a warning that it will be available to your employees once you send it after you hit the send button. The employees will also receive an email notification to let them know that you have provided them with their tax document. The email will not contain any PDF or any document. It's just an email to tell them, hey, your tax documents are available. You can log in to Sage HR and access it. The same way they will log in to access their pay slips as well in HR. So I can send this one, and I'm going to show you how it looks in Sage Payroll, in Sage HR, sorry. Okay, so we will get a confirmation here that it's been sent. There you go. The page just refresh itself. So I can close this. Now I can switch over from payroll. We're going to go over to Sage HR. I'm the administrator, so I can take a look at what's been sent to my employees profile. So we can go over to the company level. And from the company tab, all my employees are here. I can take a look at any of them. So we're going to take a look at Quinn. And it will be under this section for payslips and tax documents. I'll click on it. So this section will contain any payslips that we've submitted for her. The T4s are right there. As you can see, it's there. The employee, sorry, can go ahead and download their tax document. Obviously, they'll only see theirs. They will not see any other employees' tax documents. But once they download it, it's going to open up a PDF for them. So my pop-up blocker just blocked me, so we need to activate that and try again. So open up as a new tab. So keep that in mind. If you try once, you may be just having a pop-up blocker on your browser that's preventing the tab from opening. But once you allow it, there is our PDF. And this one is only 2 pages and only for Quinn. So it has our information. Her social will be there. All her amounts are here. And the second page is just an explanation of every box and what they're meant for. And that's only for her to see. The RL-1s would be there. If the employee was in Quebec, they would see their RL-1s in here as well if you've published them on from their profile back in payroll. So we have 2 separate tabs there for, sorry, 3 separate tabs for whether payslips, T4s, or RL-1s. Okay? And that's really it. I'll switch back over to payroll. So here are some best practices we recommend for a successful year-end. Start early, right? Review your data. The sooner the better, obviously, to give you plenty of time and opportunity to make any necessary adjustments and corrections. Use it to review employee earnings and deductions to ensure that they've been accurately calculated and recorded throughout the year, and make any adjustment necessary. Use those 2 tools that I've demonstrated, where you can either ask for the system to recalculate everything and try its best to avoid you from having uh, any peer miscalculations with the CRA, or you can ask to just let me do my calculations manually and make those adjustments yourself. Okay. Prepare and distribute the T4s to the employees. I would say before the last day, rather than on the day, which is the last day of February. That way they can also review their documents, and if they feel like something is off, they can come back to you and you can have the discussion. So it's important to also establish an open line of communication with the employees regarding their pays and benefits, address any concerns to minimize any risk of payroll disputes, obviously. So these steps will basically help you ensure accurate reporting and obviously compliance with the CRA. Here are some tools that will help you throughout the process. The CRA has what they call the PDOC online calculator. This one is used for all provinces. The Quebec have their own separate calculator. They call it WebRAS, and I can show you in a moment what it looks like. And then Quinn will also share the link. So this is what the CRA tool for the Quebec province looks like, and you can access the tool through his website. We'll share these links I'll show you where to find these links in a moment at the end of the session. And this is the one for any other province in Canada. This calculator is a tool to also help once you provide the information, enough information on an employee, province, pay periods, and how much income they made. The system will generate, amounts on how much you should have deducted for EI and CPP, etc. And you can use these calculators to help you capture the proper amounts that's needed. So we'll share those links in a moment. The last resource that we recommend is our own year-end center. So in Sage Payroll and HR, we do have a year-end center. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's the Sage Community Hub. The link is communityhub.sage.com. If you go there from Canada, it will take you straight to your region, so you don't have to add the .ca. But once you're here, we are on the Sage Payroll section for small businesses. And on the right, we do have the year-end section. We also have the one in French. So if you take a look at the year-end center, We have some of these links that I was just showing for the CRA agency, how you can get to the website, the forms. We have a few announcements available. This is like a forum, so we share announcements, news, and alerts. If you want to stay up to date, that's a good place to look at. There's a few FAQ links here on payroll, how to run reports, and do your tax forms. There's also essentials. It demonstrates some of the things that we reviewed today and how you can verify or update any employer's personal details as well as your company details, how to prepare those tax documents. And these are videos. So we do have a few short training videos on how to generate those tax forms as well. So rather than reading a documentation, if you prefer to just watch another video, you can watch these, or you can also watch this webinar sessions that we are currently doing at the moment. So the Community Hub is a good place to go and review all these links, these important links to help you throughout the process. And obviously, you can always contact the Sage support team. We are here online to assist you. So if you have any technical questions, don't hesitate to simply start a chat with us and we will be able to assist. Once you log into Sage Payroll, I think the best way to reach is if you go to the help section, and then you can go to the help center. This will take you to the knowledge base article, so you can also look at some articles in here to figure out which ones you need. We have a year-end section there. But if you can't find what you need, the chat button is right there. And once you initiate a chat, it goes directly to an agent, and one of our team members will be able to answer your questions immediately. So that's also the quickest way to reach us. Yep, so that's it. Congratulations. We have completed the payroll year-end review. So a quick recap. Again, we encourage early preparations. The sooner we do, the better. That way you have plenty of time to make any necessary adjustments and meet your deadline to avoid any penalties. Contact your certified payroll consultant or the CRA business inquiry line to inquire for any tax questions or deductions questions. As I was saying, we cannot provide those recommendations through the support channel, but we will, again, once you get that guidance from them, we can show you how to apply those guidance into the system. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for joining us today on this session. We really appreciate your time. I know it's valuable, so we appreciate it. We hope you find it helpful. And again, we will share this link to the session at the end of it. For anyone who registered, you will get a follow-up link. And for those who cannot join, we will post the link to watch the recording into the Community Hub. And you can watch the recording at any given time. If you have questions or need personalized support, reach out to us via the support channel. It's the fastest way to contact us. Thank you again for your joining us. We wish you a smooth and compliant year and have a great study afternoon. Cheers.